I can't believe this is going to be the first fucking video of the year. Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man, and fuck me. I did not think that I would be making a video like this, the first video of the goddamn year. I'm sure the news has gone around at this point, if you've been on Twitter, if you've been looking at the YouTube stuff, or if you just read the title of this video. But this is a response video to a certain someone that I honestly do not like at all. I think I can openly say that. And this current, I guess, situation that happened like a day ago certainly hasn't taken that fact away. So if you guys know, there's a certain person called Logan Paul on the YouTubes, and he did a video. Well, he's in Japan right now, apparently, from the number of vlogs that I've seen circulating on the YouTube algorithm. And one of his most recent videos is when he went to Aokigahara, or the suicide forest. That's fine and everything, you know, I've made a video on the suicide forest, but the way that this person presented that vlog in the suicide forest was the most disrespectful thing that I've ever seen somebody do. This is a level of disrespect that hasn't just gotten me offended, hasn't just gotten, you know, Japanese people offended, has gotten basically right now the entire internet offended. So if you don't know, in his thumbnail and in his video, Logan Paul showed a dead body. He showed a dead body being hung on a tree in the suicide forest. He not only showed it, he walked up to it, close up, blurring out his face, and confirmed that it was a real dead body. I just want to ask, who the fuck does that? Like, who in their right mind would make a video like that? It blows my mind, and, you know, you could clearly tell in my voice that I'm genuinely pissed off. I've made a video on the suicide forest. I did a sponsored video on the suicide forest. And in the sponsor, you know, the Japanese government clearly told us that when you go to the suicide forest, yes, you know, there might be a possibility that you might unfortunately stumble upon someone like that. Someone who is going to the forest for the wrong reasons. But the Japanese government told us clearly that in the freak chance that you do not show the body, that you cut all cameras off, and you make sure you tell people that that is wrong. You know, luckily we didn't find anybody like that, but we did it not because the Japanese government told us to, not because our sponsor told us to, but because that is the foundation of respect for anybody who has ever killed themselves, anybody who has ever died. And this is not just in Japan, this is all over the world. You don't fucking show a dead body on camera and say shit like if you feel sad. Like, are you serious? And the sad thing is that that video right now has more likes than dislikes, because most likely of Logan Paul's fan base believing into his lies of like if you feel sad. As someone who lives in Japan, has Japanese family, has had friends who have killed themselves, the level of disrespect you showed in that video is disgusting, and the other vlogs that he did in Japan are all just as disrespectful as the next. And in all honesty, it's making Japan seem like this, at least within his fan base, Japan seem like this joke of a place. And me and a lot of people who live in Japan, who talk about Japan, who respect Japan, do not appreciate that. Logan might have had, you know, the right intentions of being like, you know, suicide's not the answer, you know, it's really sad and everything, but the way he went about to present that was probably the worst thing he could do. Like, imagine, Logan, if that body that you took a close-up of, imagine if that was your family member. Blurring out somebody's face isn't justification to use that body for views and a thumbnail. The fact that you even used it in the thumbnail is sickening, because that just goes to show me that you used a person's body. You used a human who you said just recently passed away. You used that to bait people into watching your video. You can deny it all you want. You can demonetize the video all you want. You can say like if you're sad all you want. But the fact stands that you used a dead body to promote your shitty vlog. And what's more sad right now and more sickening is the fact that YouTube hasn't done anything about it. They haven't given him a strike. They haven't taken the video down, because in all honesty, what he did is totally against the community guideline rules of YouTube. If you love Japan and you've read up on Japanese history and religion, then you would know that the Japanese take extreme respect, especially for those who have passed away. We especially treat the dead as something that we shouldn't ever film, we shouldn't talk about in that kind of light. And you know, it happens. Like, Japan has one of the highest suicide rates in the world. But that doesn't mean that you and your bros have to go into the suicide forest all jokingly and all lightheartedly, uneducatedly go in to a suicide forest and film a dead body for views. And, you know, in all honesty, it's people like Logan and other people who come to Japan and walk around and interact with the culture in an uneducated, disrespectful way that makes Japan and makes people who talk about Japan, makes foreigners who live in Japan, makes locals who live in Japan look bad and look like a terrible country. And I'm not saying that Japan is the most perfect country in the world. It's far from that. And I've covered that in the many videos that I've done on Japan and the Japanese culture. But the fact of the matter is that myself and a ton of other people who have done videos on Japan have done it in an educated, respectful manner. And it's not hard to do. It's not hard, Logan, to fucking look up basic cultural etiquette before going to any country. It's not difficult to go to Aokigahara, go to Suicide Forest, read up a little bit on the history of the forest, perhaps even before it was called the Suicide Forest. It's not fucking hard to shut off your cameras, even for 5 minutes, Logan. I know you love to vlog every single part of your life. It's not hard to turn off your camera just for a little bit, to perhaps give a little bit of respect for those who have recently passed away in a forest that is known for those kinds of tragedies. And look, Logan, you're probably never gonna see this video, you know, and honestly, I couldn't give a shit. You know, I'm addressing this video to you, but I'm also addressing this video to every other person who has ever done anything disrespectful in Japan, has ever done anything uneducated in Japan, or anybody, honestly, who wants to ever visit or live in Japan, to know that it's not hard to look up basic cultural etiquette and respect for any country, but especially for a country that is completely different to yours, like America and Japan. It's not hard, guys, but apparently for a certain someone who cares too much about his own self-image and well-being and the amount of money that he makes from his daily life, that yeah, it might be a little bit too hard. And I'm not going to be the first one to say this, I'm not going to be the last one to say this. But I think I speak on behalf of everybody who lives in Japan, everybody who has Japanese family, everybody who loves Japan, everybody who has only the most respect for the Japanese people and the culture and the places and the way of life. I think I speak on behalf of every single person in saying, Logan, get the fuck out of my country.